babe. Hello all and welcome to the Affluent Marriage Podcast. You're listening to one financial coach, six-figure financial coach, and one educator talking about living a rich and full marriage through generational wealth building principles, authentic two-way communication, and everything in between to become a couple that lives in love and walks in wealth. Your legacy begins here.
I don't know how Jen.
This is our second take because I did break.
I don't. Yes,
you made me laugh. She started doing these little like crab hands, and it got me. Graham fam.
I'm not even gonna try. Hey, Graham fam.
Welcome to our next part of the Millionaire Blueprint,
guys. This is a really big one, and honestly, it's really great because we literally just were talking about this. Just did our budget before we got on this podcast.
Yes.
So this is very fresh in our minds as to how to do this. So our conversation today is literally about how to start.
Absolutely.
Every single step.
And if you listened into our last Graham Fam Millionaire Blueprint podcast, we talked about how to create a budget. But this time we're going to focus in and really emphasize creating that budget with your partner.
Yes, this is such a good one.
And we're going to take you back.
We'll take you back. Wow.
Yeah, J Camp.
Yeah.
We're taking you back all the way to our as far back as I can track. Because there were probably a couple budgets before this one.
Yeah.
But these are some of our earliest budget sheets that we're going to go over today.
We have relics here with us today.
Truly.
That we're going to go through.
Truly.
So if you're watching the YouTube version or you're watching, well, this isn't on YouTube, but if you're watching the video version, so we might just put it in the email. We don't have an email list yet for you guys, but it's coming. This is, you know what? This is just a really great reminder that if you have something that you're excited about pushing out, do not worry about, we talked about this literally last week on the regular episode. Don't worry about the websites, the email lists and all that stuff. If you're trying to build a business, just put it out there. Just put it out there and all the rest will come into place. Once we get you guys on an email list, we will make sure we can send you guys the video versions of the Graham House stuff, because the Graham Fam stuff, because sometimes I feel like that might give you a lot more of an understanding of what's happening. And like you can see our facial expressions, even with like the mock conversations we have, especially with today, because we're literally going to show you our sheets, what we've been using. And that might be helpful with you to have a visual representation.
Part of the reason why we don't have an email list out yet is because there's just so much going on.
Yeah.
Over here with KG Millionaire Coach and Dan Graham Educator. We've been doing a lot. What did we just wrap up?
We just wrapped up. Honestly, it's mid-May. Okay. So upon hearing this,
it's already mid-May.
You guys might be watching this or listening to this a little bit later in June, but it's mid-May at this point, and we have been the first 2 weeks going through our renovation.
First time, honestly, living, I feel like, with a renovation, maybe with children, because we had renovations when we first moved into this space, but living through a renovation with children is no joke.
No joke. It has been a lot. And then with all the dust, I got a little bit sick. I was under the weather, so we took a week off. And then I was working with clients and onboarding clients, and it's just been a whirlwind of a 2 weeks, but we finally wrapped it up. The renovation is done, and we just paid for it tonight.
The final
payment.
We paid like the first installment just so they can get supplies and materials and stuff and get going. And yeah, we just wrapped our payment, and it looks incredible.
It looks so good.
It looks so,
and not
resort.
Only did we do that, it was
Can't wait to lay down in that tub.
It was like a $5,000 renovation, all in all, a little bit over that. But then we also put another $1,800 into savings for, we're putting it towards, this is what we're doing because we're trying to save up for making sure we have a really good solid down payment for this car that we're getting. And we have other goals that we're shooting for. So that's where we chose to put it. But imagine if that wasn't something, because eventually we are not going to need a car. We're not going to need to furnish a space. That's $1,800 that we could just be like, where do you want to go? What do you want to do?
What do you want to invest in?
What do you want to invest in? What do you And I'm like, wow, dude, that's amazing. So we're literally going to teach you, because what we just experienced was not something that just happened overnight. It wasn't something that just
luck.
Poof,
we didn't just fall into it.
This is something that started with exactly what we're going to express and explain to you today. These exact steps multiplied over the years to where we are right now. And it's not because of the money we're making, it's because of how we are managing it. And so we're just really gonna to show you about how we do it step by step.
Yeah, what a great feeling to spend almost $6,000 on a renovation and still pocket $1,800.
It's a sick feeling.
It's not $6,000 that we earned this month. This is money we've saved, right? So we had saved up that $6,000. We were able to pay it and pocket some money here now, mid-May, $1,800.
Yep.
Pretty amazing.
And it's so applicable and so accessible for so many. I wrote a post recently that I say it as a flex, even though it might sound like it's a diss to me, but it's not. I make less than a lot of my clients that I work with, which I know sounds like, wait, what? A lot of my clients are making multi-six figures, and they are, in revenue, and a lot of them are multi-million-dollar businesses, but they have so much debt that they are not actually bringing in their lifestyle expenses far exceed like what they're bringing in. And so if I can do I can do more than what they're doing, that is a flex.
Absolutely.
And so that's why I'm like, listen, it has nothing to do with the amount of money you're making.
There's a common misconception that just because you make a lot of money means you know how to manage your money. Mm-mm. Some people make a lot of money and they have no idea where it's going or what to do with it. And that's why they need you.
Right.
Because you come in and you're like the doctor. You're like the budget doctor. You come in, you show them where their issues are. You show them where the problems are. You repair it. You patch it. You fix it. And now all of a sudden they have all this cash flow and they're like, what in the world? How did I wait so long to find you?
There's so many leaks. And when we're able to patch them up, we're able to create something that's salvageable that we can actually stay afloat on and not feel.
But it's a flex. Like if I can make less, live on less, and have more money to show at the end of the month than you do, and you're a multi-six figure, there's no reason why we should be doing more with less.
Right.
If you're making that much more.
Exactly.
So if you get your stuff right, just the way we have, you're going to be thriving.
Right. Even more so. So anyway, I find that that's something that I hope that gives people a little bit of is this accessible for me? Yes, it is. Because we have literally been doing these things that we're going to be teaching you from the very beginning. And we've always felt this way that we're able to do more with less.
And what we're going to do is take you back to the beginning. What do we have here, Kim?
This is our OG.
Look at this bad boy.
Dave Ramsey binder. You see
this. But at this point was trying to, I guess, learn how to do bubble letters. So I was really doing my best to write
you did your
Dave
best.
Ramsey in bubble letters. I really wanted it to be snazzy. I didn't even take the time to fill in the bubble letters with colors.
Yeah.
But I just want you to look at the
very good job.
Look, I did. You know how you have the top line, midline, bottom line? I really focused.
You really did.
My S looks backwards though. The top is a little more curvy than the bottom.
But I think you did a very good job. Honestly,
thank you.
We got the binder because we recognized after we did this for a couple of months, because the first one is probably, I think, April, because I've looked at this a couple times. Yep. April 2012. Just to date when we're talking. This is how far back we did this.
So we have not even been married a year yet, right? Because we got married in June 2011. So this is about 10 months into our marriage. And we started our financial journey about 6 months into our marriage.
Correct.
Because that's when we started getting all the letters from Sally Mae.
Yep.
And we were
probably the beginning
we need to get on this. And now think about it. Not only that, right, 6 months later, so about December, we took our first course, financial course. It was a Dave Ramsey course. And how long are those courses? 8 to 10 weeks?
Yeah.
So maybe by week 3 or 4, maybe that first month in. So I'd say January, February, we really started to do this budget thing and figure it out.
Yeah.
So this is 2 months into our journey of budgeting, right?
Yes. And I will say the sheets that we're using are sheets you can find online.
It's a free
if you
resource.
look up Dave Ramsey budget sheets, you'll find the exact ones that we're using.
I'm sure they look a lot different than this now.
They look a lot different.
2012. I'm sure they've changed.
I'm sure they've been updated, but you can find them. They're not a secret.
I mean, these are black and white. Maybe they at least have color now.
Yes, they do. And later on, I don't know what year it is, but it does get into a little bit more color.
What is the last year that?
I don't know. I feel like it was 2000, I don't want to say 17?
Hold on. 2018.
18.
Kim, there are 6 years worth of budgets in this binder. This is incredible.
It's like a yearbook, which is why we never get rid of it, because so we started the binder because we were like, oh, okay, we were using the papers and it was getting really cumbersome because it was everywhere. You have all these papers.
Just getting so heavy, man.
So then we got a binder and you made the cute little bubble letters on it so we could keep track of it, right? That's dedication. I remember probably one of us went to school and made copies. I remember making copies at my school.
Don't tell people that.
Of for a full
we
year
did not
or something.
Use the school
we did not use the school resources
sheets
and hole punching them so that we could have a whole year's worth. And that's what we used. And we would get together and focus on this. I actually had someone ask the question. They were like, well, who made who get to the table to actually have these conversations? And I'm like, 100% it was Daniel. I was not necessarily the one now I do. Now I get excited to look at the money. Because I'm like, well, what, where are we at with our goals? Let's talk about it, right? It's a game. But at the first part of it, it was not fun. I will tell you that. It took us a while to get there. And so it was something that he probably had to be the one that's like, Kim, this is our date where we have to go over this. And he probably bribed me. I say, go to Starbucks with your stuff. He probably bribed me let's go to Starbucks. We're going to talk about our money. And I'm like, okay. You get me some whipped cream, a really good latte. I will sit and talk about money. So that was the exchange. So yeah. All right. So how are we gonna do this?
Yes. So here's what I want to do. First of all, I want to say that I just fixed my headset this whole time. We've been going for 11 minutes now. I'm like, man, I feel like it normally sounds different. And number one, it wasn't turned on, and I turned it on, and then I was like, man, it's still I didn't turn the volume up. So now the volume is up on my headset and I can actually hear you talking. And I've really been staring at you hard. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you're like, man, why is Dan staring at Kim so hard?
Because he thinks I'm beautiful.
Number one, it's Mother's Day and you're gorgeous.
Thank you.
Number two, I legit was struggling to hear you. And I'm like, I need to make sure I'm hearing what you're saying so I can respond. So headset is fixed.
Glad that's working.
We are good to go.
We're good
to
go.
For today, what I want to do is have a mock conversation with you. I kind of want to go through the month of April that we had here, which is going to be exciting just to see.
It's going to be really fun because I have no idea what we spent.
I truthfully don't either. But I want people to hear what was our income. I want people to hear what were our expenses. What was our budget.
This is gonna be fun.
What did we do in this month of April 2012? Before we jump into this, though, I do want to set the stage a little bit.
Okay.
So first of all, we kind of talked about this, but we used a Dave Ramsey budget. So this is a free paper budget, a free resource. You can find it online. It's probably much improved now, but back in 2012, this is what we used. If you're on YouTube, we'll show you pictures. You can look at it. We also used a tracking app called the Mint.
Yes, mint.com. You can also, since 2012, there's been a lot of budgeting apps that are out there. So if you don't like necessarily Mint for whatever reason, there's EveryDollar, which is Dave Ramsey's app that he now uses, which you are welcome to use, which mirrors the paper.
Anybody.
No, we're not endorsing. We're not getting paid for anything. We're just letting you know there's options. There's the Wine app, which is you need a budget. There's that app. There's Wally. There's so many apps out there that are available to help you manage your money. But here's how we move them together.
Yeah, I was just going to say one of our Millionaire Blueprint episodes is going to be on a number of different budgeting apps that are out there and, what we think you should use if you wanted to do that. Yeah, based on who you are. But go ahead.
What are your goals, right? So what we did was we actually used both of these. So I have a lot of people who are like, I have tried the apps and I don't like them. And I've tried the paper budgets and I don't like them. Or I've tried the cash budget and I don't like that, right? There's so many different ways that you can manage your money. What we like to do is we liked to marry all of these things together. So we liked writing it down and having something that at the end of the month and at the beginning of the month, we had something to be like, this is the goal. And then we had the apps to kind of keep track of everything during the month. So then we had something that kept us both accountable when we were out and about and doing stuff. But the end of the month and the beginning of the month were on paper. So that gave us a little bit more of a mixture.
Dave Ramsey encourages people to pull out cash. To use an envelope system. We actually didn't do that at all.
No.
We strictly stuck with the card, and that's why we went with, the Mint. It was just a way to track every time we swiped, it would show up on the Mint, and we could actually categorize and say, we had to manually categorize those. So I had to go in and be like, oh, this was gas. Let me put it into transportation. This was food. Let me put it in groceries. So we had to go in and categorize everything on the Mint, but we tried to just do nothing but swipe. Like we tried not to do cash for those first few years because we wanted to use the Mint, categorize everything, and then use that to fit our Dave Ramsey budget sheet.
Correct. Now, I will say this though. This is why it doesn't matter what like method you use. It needs to be updated every other day, if not every week.
We still had to track.
So we still had to track and we still had to categorize. You're not getting out of work. There is no easiest way to do it. No matter what, there is work involved. Okay. So,
because sometimes it would do things like you'd fill up on gas, but you did it from a grocery store. So they'd call it food. And I'd be like, babe, how did we spend like $57 on food already? Like we haven't even gone out. We just started the month. And it'd be like, oh no, that was, Costco. We filled up on gas, or that was Weiss. We filled up whatever your local store is. If you have like gas stations connected to it, like sometimes it would make those mistakes. So you did have to go through and track and check things.
So you still need to make sure you do that. So that's a first tip for you. You still need to update it and track it.
And do it regularly, because it would cause arguments, because we'd get to like the end of the month.
Oh, I would hate it.
And it'd be like, why did we spend $60 at Weiss that one day? And we'd just be like having this like, what did we buy? Like, what in the world? Like, you're getting filet mignon. Like, what are we doing? And then later on, we'd figure out, oh, that was just gas. And we'd apologize to each other for arguing about what we spent money on. Yes.
So, and we didn't start using... You're going to start recognizing as you start using one method or a couple of methods like we did here. And we're like, let's try this for a couple of months, or, it might turn into years or something like that. Then you'll find ways to make it more compartmentalized for yourself. So later on, we were like, oh, let's categorize like, entertainment and, I don't know, going out to eat together. Because we don't really go out to the movies that often, and we don't really go out like but once every week. So let's just go ahead and put it together, because sometimes when we go on date, we're mixing them up. So let's just put it into one category. Later on, once we got a house, we started it once I had the baby. Once I had Sophia, we moved to the cash budget for groceries to keep more. We wanted to keep a handle on it a little bit more, because I was at home, and we were like, okay, I want to make sure we know exactly where everything is going, and I want to accidentally spend over. So like, you're going to find that you're going to ebb and flow and change to different things. As long as you are keeping on top of it, you're going to be great.
So it's time to go back.
Let's go.
Let's time travel 11 years behind us. 11 years. Just 11 listen to years. That.
Wow, that's crazy.
11 years. We're going to go back to 2012.
2012. Kim and Dan are
I'm going to open the rings to this binder. And Lord. As I do, it's going to teleport us. Did you hear that?
I heard that.
That was the sound of 2012.
Dan.
Can I blow the dust
off this paper?
My goodness. It's 2 pages. Now let me close this.
All right. We are here.
Babe. Hey, babe, it's the end of the month. It's the end of April. At some point, we need to actually sit down and do our budget.
I don't really want to, but can we go to Starbucks? Please.
There might be money left.
Okay,
but Sally Mae... She's knocking on the door.
I know.
She's filling up our mailbox.
I know.
All right. My Pantech Duo.
Your Pantech Duo. Your phone.
My Pantech Duo. My little you could flip it up and flip it to the side.
Your QWERTY pad. Your QWERTY
all right.
Pad, yes.
I'll check and see what we got here. All right. But yeah, let's do that. Let's go somewhere.
All right. Cool.
All right, so get into your 98 Honda Civic.
Oh, I loved my 98
Or do you want to ride in the 2004 Saturn Ion?
No, we got to take my car because it's the better
doors.
car. No, my car is the better car.
All right.
It gets better mileage.
Yeah, mine does squeak and stuff
when you
hit the brakes.
It does. So
what's that song we sing when
Poverty.
Every time we hit a squeal.
Oh, okay.
That's it. All right. All right, let's what you have your laptop?
I didn't bring my laptop.
Okay, I've got my laptop.
Bring my laptop.
Yeah.
We didn't
so what
use
I'm
our laptops at this point.
You don't think so?
No.
How do we know we use the Mint?
We didn't. Okay, if this is the first time we're using this,
you don't think we use the Mint for this?
I think we guesstimated a lot of these numbers and then used the Mint. Or well, it's the end of the month, so yes, we have our. I think
we're using the Mint.
Fine, we're using the Mint.
Let me have the Mint. Let me have it, girl.
I'll let you have it. I'll let you have it.
So,
okay.
Did you bring your laptop?
Yes.
Don't you ever interrupt my dream sequence ever again. It's like Community when they're in the Dreamatorium or whatever, and then like it's the first time Annie goes into the Dreamatorium. I know this is really like whatever.
It's very niche.
But they're pretending, they're in their imaginative play, and then Annie like comes in and like she is just not in that imaginative realm, and it like just ruins everything.
And they're like, you suck, Annie.
So please don't be an Annie. Like, do not.
I love it.
We are in a dream sequence. We are in 2012, and you just completely, you broke character.
I'm sorry.
I broke
character. I broke character.
All right.
Is this the first page? That's the page 2. This is double-sided.
Right, because one of these. No, hold on. Listen. It's okay.
I'm sorry. I was
very
confused.
It's okay.
Oh.
I found. Look at this paper, y'all. Listen.
It's rips.
Listen. All right.
Oh,
That's
this is
important,
the best.
though.
I was like,
important.
wait, there's a first page here somewhere.
Yeah. Honestly, that was probably our children.
Okay. All right.
So, because this binder's been out for a couple of days.
Yes. Okay.
All right. So I brought my laptop. So I'll log on to the Mint. It's got all of our stuff. It's been tracking our debit card for the month. So we can look through it and then fill out some of these line items on this printed budget sheet, and we'll just see how we did.
All right.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right. All right. First thing on here, it says charitable gifts. So how much are we trying to, like, how much did we actually give this month?
So I feel like we wanted, is this a total of?
Yeah, this is like what we desired.
Oh, okay,
this is like what actually happened.
Okay, so we desired to do $420,
yes,
which means that we probably made a little bit less. So $210 is what we actually spent. That was our 10%.
Okay, so we'll write that down. Okay. 210 for charitable gifts.
Yeah.
Emergency fund or retirement fund or college fund, or do we have anything for that?
No, we don't have anything for that because our goal right now is we decided that we wanted to see how much we can put towards the debt first.
Right. So at this point in April 2012, like we're not even putting any money aside for an emergency fund. We had about $1,000, I think.
Yeah, probably about $1,000 or $2,000
as an emergency fund, but we're not adding any more to that. And we certainly aren't contributing to our retirement because we're trying to pay off these loans and college fund. Like we don't have kids.
We don't have kids.
That doesn't apply to us.
No, it does not.
All right. So that's all under saving. So the saving category we're done with. The next thing on this budgeting sheet is housing.
Housing. Yep.
So how much should we spend on our rent?
So we had $1,011 for our rent and $17 for homeowners insurance. Those were the only categories that we needed to pay in housing. And so we paid for both of those things.
Okay. So we paid our insurance. We paid our $17. We paid for our rent, and that $210 for giving, which we gave to our church. Okay. Now, we haven't even done like income, because with Dave Ramsey's budget sheet, income happens at the end because all of your expenses and your income should equal 0.
Yeah.
On our budgeting stuff, I know I'm breaking the fourth wall here, but we have our income like
beforehand,
before all that. So you see what your income is and then your expenses. So we kind of flip it around.
Yes. We found what works for us over the last 11 years.
Yes. So we've gone
back in 2012.
Saving, housing. So we have our rent, we have our insurance. Did we put any money aside for repairs or, replacing furniture?
No, we didn't put anything aside for that because our goal is to pay off debt.
We just couldn't do anything else, right?
Anything
the reason why I'm saying this stuff, guys, is because it's literally on this paper. I'm just reading.
Yeah.
He has the main categories: saving, housing, utilities, food, transportation, and then there's like subheadings.
Yes.
So we basically didn't put money towards anything extra.
And just so you guys know, and again, you could look this up online, Dave Ramsey paper budgets, and you can find all these subcategories. But the categories are mortgage, second mortgage, real estate taxes, home insurance, repairs, replaced furniture, and other. The only two things that we could do were mortgage and homeowners insurance.
Not even mortgage, like rent.
Like rent. Yeah, right. We were renting at this point, and our rent was $1,011.
So this is
right.
People would love, but that was a 1 bed, 1 bath.
That was a 1 bed, 1 bath.
It was about 1,000 square feet.
Yep.
There was nothing fancy about it.
Nothing fancy.
It was carpeted, and I had my lemon mint green on the walls, and you loved it. So
I hated it.
As you're listening, I want you to just hear, number one, what were the numbers that we had? How were we getting by? listen to the conversation that we have. And also you can hear some of the categories that are on this budgeting sheet in case you're like, man, what are some categories that I should be thinking about?
Should we talk about our income yet, or we wait till the end?
Let's wait till the end, because that was
reveal. Okay.
How it's done on the budgeting form.
Okay.
Right?
Cool. So utilities.
Okay. So utilities, what did we do for electricity this month, babe?
So we wanted to spend, we put on one side what we desire to spend.
Right. The beginning of the month, we planned it out. And then what actually happened is at the end of the month.
Yeah. So we desired to spend $50. That's really what was happening. And we spent $40.80. So we saved $10.
Let's go, dude. 10 more bucks to Sally Mae.
That's amazing.
Hey. When you make the amount of money that we are making, $10 is a big deal.
$10 is a big deal, but
but
we're not done with the rest of the budget yet.
All right. So electricity, save $10. Sweet. Water, we wanted to spend $5. How much did we actually spend?
$3.84.
Let's go, dude. Another savings there, $1.16. Let's go, Kim.
I thought you did
Together,
that really fast.
$11.16 so far. Okay. Gas. So I guess this is
that's heating.
Wow, we had gas at this place.
Yeah.
All right. We wanted to spend $45. How much did we spend?
$73.65.
Well, there goes our $11.16.
Yep. But
that's a negative.
Yes, it is. But you know what?
We're in the hole $20 right now.
But it's okay. At least we, we're not done yet.
We had gas.
There's still, yes,
we could
at least
cook
we could cook.
And have heating.
So we have something else. Maybe next month we could be a little bit, better about not using as much heat. It's April, so it should be warmer.
Do you even think we argued about that in 2012?
We didn't. We had no idea.
We were probably just it
is what it is.
It is I don't know. How do you use less gas?
I don't know. But
cook less? I don't know.
But cable, I'm trying to get these things because it's
all right. So after gas
phone 45. Phone was 165.
We wanted to spend 165. How much did we actually spend?
172.
Diggity dog. It was probably taxes, right? It's just a set number. These phones.
I know.
We had to pay for trash.
I know. That's why trash was $7. We spent $6.75.
Let's go 25 cents saving, baby.
Yeah, but that's what renting, right? Renting, we thought it would be a base price of $1,011, right? It's our very first apartment ever. And I'm just recognizing right now that all of these additional things, electricity, water, gas, and trash,
right?
It raises the amount significantly.
Yes.
Maybe in our next place, we think about something that has it all rolled into one. Maybe a private renter might be a better idea.
Maybe. What an idea. Next, we had cable. We wanted to spend $99. How much did we actually spend?
$99.
So good to actually know what you're going to spend and actually spend it. It's $99 nice. On cable. Dude.
Yeah.
Do we even need to watch TV?
Right now we do.
How bad do we want it?
Right now
we didn't want it bad enough because we had $100 on cable. I'm sure that was partly internet.
Partly.
But man.
But we had a DVR.
$172 on phones. We don't even spend that now.
I know. But you know what? I remember that cable that we had a DVR. We had the full, the basic, but the next highest package because I really wanted to watch.
Well, I wanted some sports, and you probably wanted HGTV was a big deal to us.
Yes, it was.
And I know that in that basic package, HGTV was not included.
Right.
And I was I have to see how my clam boys do. Selling clams at the beach, getting $1 million homes.
Yeah. But so that was really important to me at the time. And I was no, I want to have. What happened was this is really indicative.
What happened was.
This is really indicative of our goals, our the things that we really put a lot of emphasis. Valued. That's the word I'm looking for. I wanted what I was used to when I was living with my parents. My parents had HGTV. They had Disney Channel, which I did watch it even at that time because I'm a kid.
You're a full-grown 23-year-old.
I was 23.
Kid at this point.
I'm allowed to still watch stuff like that. I wanted to watch, those types of things free, whatever, all those different types of channels. And that's what I was used to. So I wanted that. So the $99 is very indicative of the values I had at that time that I was no, we need to have this method. So overall in the utilities, so far, we spent $371. So we have that added up there as our total.
I am excited to talk about this next category.
Me too.
Can we talk about this for a second?
Yes, we can.
Can you tell the people how much money, we have 2 children.
We have 2 children.
All right. How much money do we withdraw now that makes me rethink what I'm saying here, but how much money do we withdraw every 2 weeks?
We withdraw $400.
Every 2 weeks. So in total for the month, $800
yes.
for us and 2 kids, right?
And that's for groceries, and that's for going out to eat.
And going out to eat, right? 4 people. So that's like $200 a person.
Yep.
Okay. Let's get into this.
How much? So for groceries, for you and me who have no kids, in April 2012, we spent $323. Or no, we wanted to spend $323
for the month.
I have a question once we get to the end of this one. Okay. So $323. But what did we spend?
$349. We actually spent.
We spent more.
$350 on groceries
for 2 people. Right. And for restaurants, we wanted $184. That was our goal.
Yes.
How much did we spend?
$223.
$223 on eating out. Yeah.
So right now, of our 400, I'd say we eat out every Friday.
Yeah.
But we eat pretty chill.
We do.
Like we go to like really basic, like Chipotle, Sarku, like China.
Fast casual.
Yeah, fast casual, right? So we spend about $20-$25 every week. So in total, I'd say for the whole month, $100.
Yep.
Right? Would you agree?
Yes. And do we take our kids out?
No.
We don't take our kids to restaurants.
Because they're picky.
Because they're picky and they waste food. We go
to Chick-fil-A for them, and they don't even eat the whole thing.
Nope,
like
not doing
they'll eat the French fries, but then they won't eat the other. Like they won't eat the nuggets, or they won't eat the macaroni and cheese.
No, it is a very rare occurrence that we will take them out.
They're
with
a
us
waste
to
of
eat.
money.
I'll take them out for dessert. We'll do that. We'll be like, let's go out for ice cream. Absolutely.
Some IKEA ice cream.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Get that dollar.
It's $1.50.
Froyo cone.
But I'm not taking them out to restaurants. So if we go out, it's just us. So. But I think, okay, so here's my question.
$223
I know.
for 2 people.
I know. Do you know what we did?
We went to restaurants.
Here's where our lifestyle at that time. Okay.
Giving people tips.
Every weekend on Sunday, like we were very heavily involved in our young adult ministry.
We had a lot of friends.
So every Sunday they would say, let's go out to Panera. Let's go out to a restaurant.
Payway.
Let's go out to Payway. That was a good place that we would go to. Let's go out all these places. So we would go out probably every Friday or every Sunday out to eat with friends. And that was just the norm. And so that's probably where we were. That's probably what the reason for that was. Now, here's my question that I know some people are listening to and going, how did you come up with these numbers? $323 and $184. That's such a random amount for grocery and restaurants.
It is such a random number. Are you asking me what I think?
I'm asking, how did we come up with those numbers?
Do you know, or do you want me to tell you?
Both. I kind of have a little bit of both.
Okay. So Dave Ramsey's all about a zero-based budget.
Correct.
Yes. So all of your expenses should equal your monthly income, right?
Yes.
So something else we looked up is percentages.
Yes.
And it was like, how much money should go towards your rent every month? And it was like, oh, well, we use 12% towards our rent. And it was like, how much should go to your food every month? And it was like, it should be like 7%. I'm making up the percentages here, right? But I think what happened is I said, okay, our total income for the month is however much we tell you at the end. You'll find out. And then I did 7% of that, and it ended up being $507.
Okay.
So it was like, okay, how do we want to split that? Well, let's do 323. Like, I don't know.
Okay. But that's important.
This was 11 years ago, Kim.
Right.
I'm not sure what we did.
No, but that is, you're right. Because it was the percentages, because they're normally on there. It's like a percentage of what it should be. So that's where we started. Because again, at the beginning of the month, we said, this is how much we think we're going to make. This is the percentages of how it should lay out. We use the Mint app to make sure that we're staying within those ranges, right? Because we make sure that it is mirrored. These goals and numbers for each of these categories are mirrored on the app. And then that's what keeps us accountable. So then at the end of the month, we look at the Mint, we look at the numbers that we actually spent, we write it down. So that is where we come up with these random numbers, like 323, and how we know exactly how much we spent by the end of the month. Now, the important thing here is to note, that when we go over on the app, it is very clear. Like, it's not a surprise when we're at the table
it's a
and
big
we're having
red
a
bar.
Conversation.
Remember, the bar turns green, yellow. It's green
red.
when you're under. It's yellow when you're within like $5 to $10 of your limit, and then it turns red when you go over. And there were a lot of months where those bars are just all
so red. And we were like, dude, we are sucking at this right now. You know what I mean? So like, and it does take that like consistency of saying, okay, we are getting closer to the red. What is going on? We are halfway through the month, right?
Right. Why is it already yellow? Which is where we'd be like, okay, let's have that conversation.
Right.
I think that was a gas station. That's why there's already $60 towards food.
Right.
Like that should be gas.
Or we recognize, hey, we might have gone a little bit too far. Like,
you know, $223 on eating out. And I know some people might be listening and be like, dude, that's nothing. Do you know what I do every month on eating out with my spouse and with my kids?
Yeah.
But 223, that's over double what our family of 4 is currently doing. And that's just the 2 of us.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
That's a lot.
So when I break this down, all right, so here's what my point. Okay, even further. So when we put these together, that's $572. Okay. $572 between 2 people. So you're looking at 507. This is our desired total.
Oh, got it.
This is what we actually spent, 572. So right now, it's for a family of 4, $800 a month. That's $200 a person, right? That's what I want you to focus on, $200 a person. 572, like let's just say it was $500. Like that's, or 572, that's what? If it was $600 for 2 people, it's like $300 each for a month, right? Wow. Almost like right now we're doing $200 a person a month. And with this, I mean, it's close to $300 per person. It just shows you how much overspending we were doing. And for all the talk about inflation nowadays, right? Like inflation is higher now, but we were spending more then.
Yeah.
Like what were we doing?
That's very true when you think about it that way.
Looking at young Kim and Dan here 11 years ago, like I could tell them right now, it's just 2 of you.
Why are you spending this much money?
Why are you spending over $200? Because we have the experience of, dude, we don't do that. Like, you can still go out and eat. We're not saying don't go out and eat.
Right. But do you really need $223 worth of going out to eat?
Can you pack your lunch? Like, do you know how to cook?
Right.
You know what I mean? Do you know how to use a rice cooker?
Yeah.
Right.
Can you meal plan for a little bit?
Can we? All right. And groceries, that doesn't, $349 for the whole month doesn't offend me.
Okay.
As much.
Yeah.
But the $223 for eating out, like
we could probably do better than that. So let's get back to 2012, Kim and Dan. We could probably do better with that. We probably don't need to eat out as much on Sundays. Maybe we can sway our friend group to being like potluck or picnic because, you know, it's nice outside. It's April.
You know, I think something that we can do is next time on Sunday when they want to go out to Payway, instead of we each get our own meal, what if we shared a meal?
That's it.
And instead of we each get our own drink, let's share a drink.
Yes.
Because it's free refills.
And honestly, those portions are ridiculously huge. And, you know,
and I love to eat them all by myself, but I could split it with you.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea to do that. And then, I mean, if we wanted to, even getting one big plate and like a plate of appetizers would even still be cheaper than both of us getting an entree.
The lunch special or whatever.
I think that might be a really good move.
Because the lunch, it's like $12, right, a person.
Right.
So that'd be like 24. But if we just split one and then got some wontons, like it'd be like $18-19. So that's like a $5 saving there.
That's the move. That's what we do next time.
That's what we'll do.
And that's how you become
Sally Malis. That's how you kick that chick to the curb.
Understands how to manage their money.
Okay, so we've gone through savings, babe. We've gone through housing, utilities, food. You know, just right off the cuff, it looks like utilities were up. You know, we thought we'd spend around $370, and we were over on almost all of them except for water.
Yeah.
And food, we were over. You know, we were over on groceries by about $20. We thought we'd spend about $320, and we spent $349, and we were over by about $40 or $50 on eating out. So that's something we got to work on. I'm sure, you know, we probably had some arguments, you know, about that. And when I say arguments, probably just like, did we really need to go out to get coffee or froyo or whatever? Like we probably looked at like the restaurants we ate at.
Yeah.
I think we also realized at this point that like we'd go to a restaurant and it really wasn't the cost of the food that got us, but then you'd give, because we tipped, we tipped generously. Like we would give like 20% or more because I worked in the food service industry. Like I know that life. So we try to hook people up, but paying that tip, And I'm not saying don't give tip. I'm saying eating at a restaurant where you provide tip.
Yes.
It's going to get you.
Yep. So, okay. So let's go down to transportation because I think that was a really good aha moment for 2012, Kim and Dan, to recognize where they had space
where they could save money.
Where they could save money. So for transportation, we don't have a car payment, which is a nice thing.
We had old vehicles that we inherited.
But we do have to pay for gas. And
how much do we think we want to spend, and how much do we actually spend?
We wanted to spend $160.
So it's about $40 a week.
We spent $232.
We've been doing some driving.
Yes, we have.
Okay.
Not really sure.
That's like 2 weeks over, basically. Like we're $8 shy of being over an additional 2 weeks if it's $40 a week.
Now, here's something that's interesting. I will wonder if in March and February, if we had this document, if we notice that 160 is not enough, then we might need to adjust moving forward, because obviously that's not enough.
That is important to note, that we are trying to establish our norms and our averages, and we've literally been doing this for 2 months. So we don't know how much we normally spend on groceries. We don't know how much we normally spend on eating out or gas or all. Like, we just set numbers based on our income, and we have to adapt and make changes on the go.
Exactly.
All right.
Car insurance.
Repairs and tires 110. Yeah, we certainly did have car insurance.
Yeah. I think that was supposed to be pure, because the car insurance was actually within our homeowner's insurance. Like, we had it bundled together.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I feel
and it was
like
only $17.
I know. I'm thinking, we had two really old cars. And I feel like we're younger. It should have been more than that.
Were we on your parents' insurance?
It could be. I'm not 100% positive yet.
That's a wild thought to me.
I just feel like our car insurance right there is 110, but why is that zero?
I think our car insurance was $110.
But why is it zero?
I'll say it's zero because there was 1 month out of every year, because you paid 5 out of 6 months, and then the 6 month was like you didn't pay.
Okay, so maybe that's what it is.
What it was.
Okay.
Well, we are done.
Well, then at the end of that week, so this is our actual total. So our actual total was $2,000.
So on those categories, we've spent $2,438.04.
Correct.
Guys, we just completed our first page of a 3-page budget.
Woo.
I hope you enjoyed listening to that. Wow. This is fascinating. This is a relic from the past.
It really is.
I mean, this is incredible.
I'm looking at page one total. Does yours say 2596 or does yours say 2438?
It does.
Okay, so this is the right one. Cool.
All right, so this does go a lot faster now that we're on to page 1 is the bulkiest. Page 2 and 3, a lot of it doesn't apply to us.
Correct.
This is got to be the last page because we start doing so
this is page 3. So page 2.
Only a couple numbers on here.
Okay, cool.
All right, so hey, we have the clothing category for children, adults, and any laundry cleaning service.
Mm-hmm. So we wanted to spend $50.
This is cute.
I know, $50 for both of us.
Oh.
So meaning $25 each, friends. That's how much we had for clothing.
I could get a pack of underwear.
Maybe.
And get some socks.
Maybe. So we said $50. We actually spent $28. Now these are things that we're gonna see often, so we don't have to discuss this at all because that's gonna confuse people. So just say like, we only spent $28.
Right.
That's
but it's worth noting, and I'm not going to bring this up, even though I am. If we spent 28, that means we didn't spend the other 22. We put that in like our own little mental bucket.
Yeah.
That didn't exist anywhere, and we often forgot how much money was actually in that bucket because we tried to write it down on this paper and it got confusing.
It did.
But we did try to like roll over that category.
So some people ask me this question. So breaking the fourth wall.
You can't do anything with $25.
And going into 2023, Kim and Dan, this where we started when we started to do these mental buckets of like, oh, we actually saved $22 and just leaving it in the account drove me absolutely mad because there were many times when we would sway and spend too much in certain places and then we ate up that additional amount of money.
Yes.
Which taught us to start creating bucket accounts that were actually
having more than one checking account.
Bank accounts. Yeah. So we had other checking accounts so that when we did say we wanted to do $50 and we only spent $28, we would immediately move $22 into a clothing account, and then so that we wouldn't
it couldn't be touched.
It couldn't be touched, and it wasn't something that we were moving over.
It wouldn't be eaten up by our water bill that was $1 over.
So just to let you guys know for future reference, that's how Kim and Dan did this. But that time it got super confusing, and it's okay if you become frustrated with oh my gosh, this isn't working. It's not an unsolvable issue. Do
you know what my problem with this right here is? You just said it's $50 for clothing, $25 each, and we spent $28. Who spent $28?
Probably me. It's always it's
whose $22 is that? Is that my $22? You went $3 into my $25?
Yes, pretty much.
That
would happen often.
That is. I think later on, probably as we figured this out, we'd start writing Dan or D and K for whose plus it was.
Yes.
But that's super confusing.
It is super confusing. But again, that is how we started. This is the very first thing. There's a lot of people who would quit right at this point to be like, this is too much. We've been talking for 45 minutes about these 3 pages. Imagine how long it took for us to have this conversation and go through category by category with the mindset that with where we were in 2012. This took a while.
Right.
Okay.
And like you said, we've been talking probably for 30 minutes now about this. It probably took us an hour and a half, 2 hours to actually go through the mint, track, reallocate things, write it down, figure out what that money came from. Where did this $25 to white? What is that? Is that gas? Is it food? What is it?
Yeah.
It takes it's a process.
A while. Okay. So I just want to let you guys know.
But it gets better.
Literally, we can have this conversation in 5 minutes now.
Right.
Okay.
Now, we didn't have anything else for clothing. Medical and health. We didn't have disability insurance, health insurance, doctor's bills. It was included in our teaching. Doctor's bills, dentist, any of that. Kim's like, you didn't read that word. Optometrist.
Optometrist. You were thinking about it, and I could tell you were
skip it.
Optometrist.
Yeah.
But personal wise, oh, that's so cute. I still had a hair care.
You've always had a hair care.
I've always had a hair care.
I've cared about your hair from the beginning, and I gave you $20.
But did I spend $20?
No. And did we roll any of that over?
No.
So the next month you only had $20.
Yep, that's okay. I think that was something that we also created as a stale.
Your hair was a sacrifice.
It was.
You didn't do anything for your hair. You're like, no, babe, I'm going to give you $20 to pay off Sally Mae.
Yes. Well, actually, no, we didn't want to roll it over because
my hair be grammed.
Because we didn't want to roll it over. We were like, you know what? We'll just do $20 flat. And if you don't use it, if you use it, you lose it or use it, right? Use it or lose it. Dang it. I do that all the time with phrases. I said, lose it or use it.
Sorry, man.
Dang, I'm really bad at phrasing.
But you caught yourself that time.
I did. Use it or lose it. So that's kind of how we treated some of these categories, especially the ones that were a little bit more personal, that were not necessary. Okay. And then...
All right. So basically, this is the personal. So we've done clothing, we've done medical. Now this is the personal category, right? So life insurance, we didn't have it. Childcare, didn't have kids. Babysitter, toiletries, we didn't buy toilet. It's all included in the groceries, the toiletries.
All included, yeah.
Hair care, $20. That was it. Education, school tuition, school supplies, child support, alimony, none of that. Subscriptions, we did have a $30 subscription.
I don't even know what we were subscribed to. Seriously.
It literally could have been Xbox Live, maybe $5 a month. It could have been a gym membership.
It could have been. I was at the gym.
I couldn't even tell you what that $30 is.
I don't even know.
Organizational dues, none. Gifts. Wow, we had a budget for gifts.
That's nice. So we did have $25. Well, let's go back to subscriptions. We did $30 for subscriptions. We spent $30 because that's just what was every month. $25 would go into our savings for Christmas or for
birthdays,
gifts. And
Mother's Days.
We put $25 aside. So that was important to us. No. But it's still not enough. I feel like we still need to push up our grocery or our gift.
There's just
budget.
Too many gifts because
there's
you
so
work,
much.
And then it's every other week there's someone's baby shower or wedding shower or just too many showers, man.
Too many showers. I feel like there's that's still a budget item that we still need to tweak even in 2023, Kim and Dan. But 2012, Kim and Dan.
I just started making gifts.
Did $25.
Said it was for my kids, but it was really me.
But then we have this fun category, which people love when we said it and people didn't understand what we were talking about.
Yeah, this one's called blow money.
Blow money. And people would be like, what?
What is blow? Like a drug? Like you on the streets? You getting services? Like, what is blow money?
Blow money is money that is like the excess. Like
money that you can blow.
Money that you can blow. So we gave ourselves $100 to just, if there was something that was outside of these categories that was unplanned for, or if we were just wanting to splurge, that's what it was there for. How much did we spend?
Can we talk about how we didn't go over on clothing? We didn't go over on health. We didn't go over on hair care. We didn't go over on our subscriptions or gifts. We went over on our blow money.
We sure did.
We spent $181 on just frivolous things, and that was almost double what we allotted.
Yep.
So page one, in total, on page one at the end, it said $2,438. And now for clothing, medical, personal, we've spent $264. So notice, which is over budget.
Yes.
We allotted $225 and we spent about $40 over that.
So notice that page one is all necessities, like stuff that keeps your household going. Page two is some necessities, like but medical. Most of them are like, you don't need them. Right.
Yes.
And that really helps you understand like categories that actually matter versus categories that you could probably do away with. So it's really, it helps you see that really clearly.
And we created these categories on the Mint and tried to allocate things into these categories. All right. We are on the final page.
Yes.
All right, here we go.
All right, and this is where the debt comes into place. So
the two categories on this page are recreation, which is entertainment and vacation, and debts, which is for us student loans, Sally Mae. So how much do we have recreation here first, entertainment and vacation. So we wanted to allot $25 to entertainment and $75 to vacation, which is interesting to me that we still put money towards that even though we were paying off loans. That changed later on.
I think that, yes, it did. See, this is really important to note too. I feel like we just keep going back and forth between Kim and Dan in 2012, but I hope you guys are following along. $25 and $75 for entertainment and vacation. When we first started doing and managing our money and budgeting our money and writing it all down, we were like, okay, these are the things that are goals for us. Like, let's see what makes sense for us. And it wasn't until, I want to say, probably mid that summer. So probably if we looked in here, you could probably see the moment where things shifted for us, where we recognized that, oh, wait a minute, if we just change this, and this, something snapped where we were like, I want to get rid of this ASAP because we could have so much more money if we just did X, Y, and Z. And that's when what we call, or what Dave Ramsey calls, the gazelle intensity took over. And there was no entertainment. There was no vacation. There was very little hair care. There was no clothing. There was no, we moved to a smaller space. We got the rent that was all included so that we didn't have to pay additional for all those other things. Like, we really went down to bare bones. And that's when more money was able to come out and we were able to go, okay, this now feels better because we're throwing more rocks at this debt. At this point, we weren't there yet.
No.
And this is
early in our marriage.
This is early in our marriage. And we were like, no, we still want entertainment and vacation.
Still, like 10 months in our marriage.
I still want to do these things. We're infant, right? And that's okay to be at this place for a little bit before you get real serious about it.
So we allotted $25 for entertainment and we only spent $8, which I feel like is often true. And we did try to roll this 24 over, so we didn't even go to Sally Mae. But it's often true. Entertainment, we really did not use that much.
Yeah.
Vacation, we allotted $75 and we spent $75.
So we must have went somewhere in April.
We did something.
I guess.
Now, we get into debts. We had this $752 debt to Sally Mae. And we had to pay $752. Like, that's just what we did.
That was not an option.
So when we add up all of our categories, right? Page one, $2,438.04. Page two, $264. Page three, interesting. We didn't even have enough to pay that $752.
Oh,
we only could pay $429. Interesting.
This is really interesting.
So our grand total in expenditures is $3,207.04. We were hoping to earn $3,673. So we were under $465.
So I think, like, in one of these papers, I actually wrote down that we, even in April, right? Because I'm trying to look at what it is. Like, if one side says actually spent. So we, in my mind, I'm thinking that means that we had $3,673 and we spent $3,207.04.
So you think we wrote it wrong?
So I think we actually...
That's possible.
It is possible because it was our first time. The reason why I say that is because here, if you look at June, actually, we can see if we did negative. But in April, we only saved, or maybe didn't save, and I just got that wrong, $465. But in June, we lost $274. So, and then like it went down. We lost $274. In September, we went, we only saved $110. December, we lost and went over $41. But like in February is when things started shifting for us and we started doing more. Like it's fan-freaking-tastic to look at all of these things again, because every single month was not like stellar.
Right. Well, here I can tell you how things shifted, because we're given $752 at this point in 2011, 2012 to Sally Mae. And when we talk about not the necessities, but just the other things, right? 50 to clothes, 20 to hair care, 30 to subscriptions, 25 to gifts, 100 to blow money, you know, 25, 75 to entertainment and vacation, right? Yep. So altogether, those things right there are about $325. So all the stuff that we were spending that's frivolous, $325, and then we're giving $750 to Sally Mae. Like, if that didn't exist,
right,
we could bump that number up from $325 to like over $1,000 and just like blow money is what we called it at the time. Like, that sounds like a good time. Like $1,000 to spend on whatever we want every month. Like, yes, I want that.
What could we do with that? I could have a banging clothing budget.
We were only in that debt. Like, that was like our first like couple of months realizing we had the $750 debt, and we were already just exhausted from it. Like, this is stupid.
This is stupid. I don't like that. This is the thing that's keeping me from being able to truly enjoy my money.
So then we just dreamed, like, you know, what could life be like if we didn't have these student loans?
Yeah. And that's when, like, I don't even know if we want to, like, if you want to look at it really quick. No. Like, give me the binder.
She wants the binder.
I want the binder. Okay. So I found it.
Yes.
So
all right.
I'm just saying, like, in this binder, right, which again, if you're watching the YouTube version, you can see us like be looking at this literal Bible that we have here. In March 2013, and again, we were talking...
So that's like a year later.
That's a year later. The amount of notes we're taking, the amount of intensity and what we're doing, the amount of time we're saying we don't need, like, is insane. And, like, we were so excited about things. The notes that we have in here, like, you know, we're going to put $140 next month to take home pay, because now we put $384 towards the loans, and there's like stars everywhere, and it's like exciting. We have pictures. I mean, there's just stickers everywhere. Like, it became something of a game for us, and that took some time to get there. But oh my gosh, like, seriously, looking at this is like...
Right. Well, think about it. Like, we started it and we weren't really sure what we were doing, but just after 1 year, 1 year of your life of committing yourself to budgeting and being consistent and doing it every month, like, we immediately saw the value and said, hold up, this $76,000 in student loans, like, we've been doing this for a month and we made a pretty decent dent in it. But now it's 2013, and if we do this, like, we started to dream, if we do this, we can knock this thing out in the next year and a half. But it's going to be hard.
It's going to be hard.
It's going to suck. But if we, for the next 18 months, if we just do this, we can knock these loans out and live the life we always wanted to live.
And not it wasn't even that. It was like, I mean, it is that. Don't get me wrong. But like, I think it's amazing looking at that first month, because we were so unsure of a lot of categories. How much should we be spending? Is this what we actually need to do? Like, we only put this much towards our debt. Oh, okay, that's discouraging. What can we do next month to make sure that we do better, you know? So I'd love to look at what May looked like, to see what changes we made and if we were able to do it. And I just feel like I see so many people now who quit after the first 2, 3, 4 months because it didn't show up the way they wanted it to, or because categories didn't pan out the way they thought they would. And when I look at how much savings we did or did not make within those first like 6 to 7 months, it was fluctuating. We lost more money than we actually gained to put towards the debt. But we kept going. Imagine if Kim and Dan in 2011 or 2012 decided to give up after that first 3 months, to be like, this just is not going to work out for us, which many people do. And instead we said, okay, we've got to figure this out, because I don't like feeling like we're going over on these things that are not necessary. Like, I don't need $100 and, you know, or $300, whatever, $30 in subscriptions. Do we need all of these things? Like, can we really figure out how to get rid of this $752 bill? I mean, I feel like there was more that came, and it was almost $1,000 at some point. But like, it was such a crutch to us, and we were just tired of looking at it and tired of paying for it. So we were like, dude, what can we do to make sure that we can get rid of this as fast as possible?
Absolutely.
I really hope that if you're listening to this and you've stuck it out and you're like, they were only making what, $3,600?
Yes, I vividly remember my paychecks from my private school were around $800 to $900 every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So $1,800 for the month, and then combined, it's $3,600.
So $3,600 a month.
And about $1,400 of that went to utilities and rent.
Like that's. And we were like, this cannot stand. My dreams of, I want to be a mom. I want to have a choice to be able to stay home. I want to be able to have a new car. I want to be able to do these things. Were crashing before me every single time we did this budget. Because I recognize at this rate, we're never going to get those things. And how many people told us, well, you know,
it's just the way it is.
It's just the way it is. Welcome to life. Go ahead and get a loan.
Unreal.
Get a house. You'll figure it out eventually. More money will come. But this is just
I remember,
this is the plight that every person has to get through.
For fun, we went to look at a house that was being sold, and the real estate agent said to us to get the most expensive home that we could get a loan for. And he said it's going to be tough the first few years, but you'll figure it out.
You'll figure it out.
And what terrible advice.
Yeah, that was later on in our journey, so we had the wherewithal to be like, that's dumb. That's dumb. But at the time, 2012 Kim and Dan might have been like, okay. But like, I mean, we easily could have just been like, all right, everyone else says this is what has to happen. So I guess we'll just get a new car loan, and we'll just get a new car to us, or we'll stay in this apartment. And I guess we'll just, because what got us out of that is because they raised our rent another $200 or something like that after our lease was up. And I was like, I mean, we would have stayed if it wasn't, because we loved that apartment. But because we were already on this journey, we were like, nope, let's go find something different.
Yeah, I think it's important to note that we hated the student loans together.
Yes.
We both absolutely hated them, and we both wanted them gone, and we were both willing to do whatever it takes to get rid of that debt, because we were also both excited to live the life that we wanted to live.
Yeah. Hey guys, this is Kim Graham, co-host of the Affluent Marriage Podcast. We hope you've enjoyed your episode so far. And I know that you're like, wait, hold on, there's more here. And there is. It's in the next episode. We hope that you guys are going to join us over there. And in the meantime, if you're waiting, join us on Instagram at the Affluent Marriage Pod, because we'd love to connect with you, converse with you. We want you guys to message us, see how you're doing and how you're enjoying the podcast. We want to hear all of those things, and we cannot wait to help you live in love and walk in wealth in the next episode. See you guys soon. Bye.